With the 85th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Patriots selected University of Houston cornerback Marcus Jones on Friday night. I'm Evan Lazar for CLNS Media, and my Patriots big board is finally on the board. We had Marcus Jones at 49th on my big board. The Patriots get some good value here, getting the 5'8", 175-pound corner at 85. And the big reason why Marcus Jones fell in this draft is because of what I just mentioned. Only 5'8". Arms are a little bit shorter. He's undersized for a cornerback in the NFL. But when I watch him on tape, this guy is just a baller. Stick him wherever you want and watch him go. He's an explosive player, really good coverage traits, has three-phase versatility, played a little bit of receiver at Houston, and was an elite all-conference return man with 9 career kick and punt return touchdowns. When you watch him return the football, you see a really dynamic returner. Some people comparing him to all-time great Dante Hall in that vein. And when you watch him play at corner, a sticky man coverage guy. He has the hip fluidity at the transitions at the top of the route and the foot quickness to mirror receivers at all 3 levels, inside and outside. You see him be really sticky and right in the hip pocket on slant routes, underneath routes, quick hitters over the middle. He can carry a slot vertical. He has the speed to carry routes down the field. And he also has some great ball skills too. 9 interceptions and 31 pass breakups in his career with the Cougars. At the AAC level in Houston, a dominant player, an all-conference corner and an all-conference returner and special team player of the year in the ACC in 2021. So Marcus Jones, a little bit undersized, but I wouldn't overreact too much to that. You see a fiery, electric, explosive athlete on tape, and he isn't all that much smaller than Jonathan Jones. Jones at 5'9", 180. Marcus Jones, the new Jones, at 5'8", 175. We're splitting hairs here really with the size, and I don't think it's going to be a huge factor playing inside in the slot. You also see some great open field tackling ability from Marcus Jones as well. So I look across the AFC East, and you got guys like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, Isaiah McKenzie in Buffalo, Elijah Moore with the New York Jets. I think Marcus Jones has the ability to develop into a player that can cover those guys in man coverage and be a problem for those guys for the Patriots. So they have multiple now fast, electric, good play speed slot corners with Jonathan Jones and Marcus Jones. And as we know, this offseason, losing Gunnar Olszewski to the Pittsburgh Steelers opened up a opening with return, both on punt returns and kick returns. So the Patriots had to address that at some point, either in this draft or this offseason. They do have some internal candidates, guys like Kyle Duggar, Jacoby Myers. They've done it in the past. But I think Marcus Jones will have the inside track, a really elite player in that vein. I think he has Pro Bowl potential as a returner. So I think he'll have the inside track to replace Gunnar Olszewski, and we'll see it out at training camp and in the preseason. It'll be a lot of fun to see Marcus Jones return kicks, and don't rule out anything with Bill Belichick. He has played some gadget wide receiver, kind of like the Chicago Bears used to use Devin Hester on offense. So don't rule out anything with Belichick. We could see Marcus Jones at least get some opportunities to carry the football on offense if the Patriots want to get creative with it. One player I think is a really interesting comparison for Jones, even though Jones is more defensive than this player in particular. I would look at a guy like Troy Brown and see a little bit of Marcus Jones in him with that versatility, that return skill. I think that's going to be his primary role early on in his career. Now, Brown obviously developed into a prolific wide receiver, one of the all-time Patriot greats at that position. Marcus Jones will develop at slot corner. But I think you see some of that. Troy Brown, Julian Edelman, really good football player. Let's just figure it out and see where he ends up. Now, Marcus Jones did have shoulder surgery on both shoulders in the offseason. We spoke to him on Friday night. It held him out at combine testing and pro day testing. So we don't have a 40 time. We don't have agility drills on Marcus Jones as a result of those shoulder injuries, but he expects to be a full go for a training camp once he completely heals from those offseason surgeries. So Marcus Jones, the 85th selection for the Patriots in the 2022 NFL Draft, their 3rd selection on the draft in total. Cole Strange in the first round, wide receiver Tyquan Thornton in the second round, and then Marcus Jones in the third round. You can check out right here at Patriots Press Pass. We have reviews of all the Patriots draft picks, Strange, Thornton, and of course you're watching the Marcus Jones one, and we'll continue to have these reviews throughout the rest of the day 3 and the entirety of the 2022 NFL draft. So keep it right here on Patriots Press Pass. I'm Evan Lazar for CLNS Media. Thanks for watching.